You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome to the Up the Turnpike YouTube channel. What's going on? Matt O'Leary alongside Mitch Anderson. Mitch, it's draft week, but we have to start by talking some AHL head coaching hires.
Yeah, so Metzer Dash said it when he was hired that we're going to change things up and improve the Bridgeport Islanders, and it seems that he did that with a new head coach being hired today. And Rocky Thompson, what a name.
An all-time name, Rocky Thompson. He fits the name, I would say, because as a player, you were telling me, fighter, dude, 275 penalty minutes in the AHL in 2003 with the San Antonio Rampage. So not afraid to get after it as a player, and definitely some highlights throughout his coaching career that we can get into.
Yeah, the Pims are nuts. In his short stints in the NHL, he's well over 5 minutes per game, except the last year in Florida. He played 6 games for Florida, 12 penalty minutes. He was subdued there. He didn't hit the box as much, even though 2 minutes per game. But yeah, man, so he went from it. After he left the AHL in 2006, 2007, immediately became an assistant coach with the Edmonton Oil Kings in the WHL, and just kind of added to his resume year after year. Went from the WHL as an assistant to the AHL as an assistant to the NHL as an assistant by 2014-15 with the Edmonton Oilers, and then jumped to become a head coach. And as you're saying, some pretty impressive numbers as a head coach there in the OHL and the AHL.
Yeah, absolutely. See if I can get this zoomed in a little bit. It looks like there we go. We can see a little bit better now. Windsor in 2015-16 and then 16-17, 2 years there, 640 points percentage and 662 points percentage. Lost in the first round both years, but was the Memorial Cup champions in his second year there, I believe.
So. Yeah, 16-17. Yeah.
So that's a big deal at that level, for sure. You were telling me some of the key names on that roster too.
Yeah, it's not like a name of like these star-studded crazy players, but he had Mikhail Sergachev in both years, Gabe Velarde in both years, but Gabe only really went off in the second year. In his first year there, 38 points in 62 games, so really did something there. I had guys like Jalen Chatfield, which is obviously a good NHL player, and then in nets, Michael DiPietro was their guy. Good years. That first season, 245 goals against, 912, and in the second year it was a 235, 917. Good goaltending obviously helps a coach a lot, as we all know, but he clearly got a lot out of these guys at the OHL level.
He did, and then he gets promoted to the AHL level, and at the AHL level, 3 years with Chicago, the Chicago Wolves, 625 points percentage in year one, lost in the first round. They went to the final in 2019, ended up losing. They went 44-22 for a 645 points percentage. And then in 2019-20, his last year there was 27-26. Not as good as what they previously had been.
No, not as good as what they had previously been, but like that team really didn't have much anymore. There's so much rotation, obviously, at the AHL level, but still a winning record. Like a 508 wins percentage or points percentage is out of this world for Bridgeport, who had like eight wins on the year last season. So,
crazy.
We were kind of joking around in the Discord. So PS, sign up to our Patreon account so you get in the Discord. Like if he gets 5 home wins on the year, just straight into the Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Already a massive improvement from what we're used to,
which is a shame, obviously. But that's the whole point of this video, is that we speak about what he's done because we're hoping that what he's done, he brings over to the Bridgeport Islanders, who desperately need that influx of coaching talent.
Yeah, they do. I mean, just going from Brent Thompson to Rick Kowalski, that neither guy really had a strong stint, especially Thompson towards the end. I know maybe earlier on you could argue that he was better, but they've definitely had some developmental problems in the AHL, and then the record finally caught up to them this year. They were just flat out abysmal, one of the worst AHL teams of all time. So in a desperate move to, or in desperate need to make a move at the head coaching position, and they bring in someone who is proven, who has proven success at that level. It's not like they're hiring someone who's never coached in the A before.
Yeah, and so you notice maybe at home looking at the years, like, well, he hasn't coached in the AHL for a while. Well, he's been a bench boss, an assistant coach at the NHL level ever since. So between the time he left as a head coach in Chicago for the Chicago Wolves, he's been with San Jose for a couple of years, and then he's been with the Philadelphia Flyers for a couple of years after that. Obviously, neither team going nuts and doing crazy stuff and great winning records, but he's still able to be an NHL coach boss. It's not like he was out of the game. And so I think what we're seeing here from Rocky Thompson is like, okay, I've done my time as an NHL assistant coach. I'm going to go run my own team now, because his aim is to become an NHL head coach. So we've got a guy with NHL head coach aspirations and has the trajectory to go with it, stepping in to take this franchise into a different direction, hopefully. And this is the right place for him. Like, let me show my real chops by redeveloping this thing from the ground up.
Yeah, if he's able to pull this off, he's going to get head coaching offers. Maybe not right away, but it might be a few year process, right, to get it turned around. But building it or being able to show that, hey, I got it at the bottom. We can't get any lower than this right now. And progressively year over year, gotten better. Maybe some, the Islanders get some players who end up going through Bridgeport that end up becoming something. He gets credit with that. But if he does want to take that next step to being an NHL head coach, well, he's been an assistant coach at the NHL level for the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. And we may have, our opinions on John Tortorella, but he's, been around the game for a really long time and has had success in a lot of different places. So I'm sure his opinion is going to count for something when the time comes. But also, again, had success once already in Chicago as an AHL head coach. And if he's able to do it again, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, and we have to remember Bridgeport, again, awful. 257 points percentage last year with 15 wins total on the season. So like the bar is super low already for him. It's almost immediately that granted that he's going to have success, because how can you be worse than that? But I think the signal in and of itself is great, because you spoke again about how the Bridgeport Islanders maybe not only get a good head coach, but hopefully they get players to come in, better players. They bring better players into the team. Well, it wouldn't be a great sign of confidence to bring in these guys. Let's just say Callum Ritchie ends up at the AHL level next year. I don't think so, but let's just say, what kind of signal is it to him? Like, come on in, Callum Ritchie. Here's your new head coach, Rick Kowalski. No disrespect to Rick Kowalski, but a 257 wins percentage, or points percentage, I should say, does not instill a lot of confidence into these players coming in. Well, now you've got that. Let's just, again, say Callum Ritchie stays at the AHL level. You give him Rocky Thompson as a head coach. All right, confidence is there. He's got the Memorial Cup winners ring or whatever they get for that. Looks pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, it adds a little legitimacy to what they're trying to do in Bridgeport, right?
Exactly. And kind of speaks with what Mathieu Darche said at the beginning when he took over. Like, we're going to give Bridgeport everything they need to be successful. And this is clearly their attempt in doing so.
Oh, good call out from Stefan Rosner, too. Sorry, not to go a completely different direction, but Thompson was an assistant with Isles' new coach, Bob Bugner, when he was San Jose's head coach.
Right.
So that's the connection, too. Didn't even think of it.
That's true. So that's great to hear that there's connections even within, like, they're not immediate coaching staff partners, but at least within the coaching umbrella, if you will, within the organization. So you got that consistency or connectivity, at least between the two. Whether it accounts for something or not, who knows? But it's nice to have. It's a nice to have.
Absolutely. It is nice to have. And I'm sure we'll be back on here throughout the week, Mitch, as we maybe not with AHL coaching news, but it is draft week. So I'm going to plug it again on Friday. We'll be live for the first round of the NHL draft. Islanders have the number 1 pick. We'll react to that. We'll stay on and see if the Islanders trade up for James Higgins. I know that's a popular thing that a lot of fans want to see. So a busy week ahead, Mitch, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Give us some shakings, baby, right in the veins.
That'll do it for us. Please make sure to like the video before you hop out. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you next time.